Hey everyone, and welcome back to Happy Fun Time Terraforming with Axolotl, because we all know that's what the series is called. I am, of course, joking when I say that. I don't think I really have to say that I'm joking because, yeah, awkward intro. Okay, so I received a request on my last video to do a custom tree tutorial, which I actually had planned, ironically enough, for the next video, so let's just get straight into it. I've got some blocks prepared here, and I'm just going to kind of take you through my personal process of making custom trees. I find they are very satisfying to make. I have said that on the Infinity SMP before, but yeah, I personally think they are really satisfying to make. So first of all, the first step is getting some reference images and some ideas. You see, each tree is different, and you can't just go, oh look, it's a tree design, it will work for every single tree in existence. I mean, this isn't actually a terrible tree. If you just wanted to make a little small one, there you go. But yeah, you want reference images for the type of tree you actually want to make. Now, I'm going for a kind of swampy kind of tree, so I have some ideas. I don't really need reference images at the moment, at this point in time, because I know exactly what I want to do, but you might want to come up with some. Just go on Google and find some. So I wanted to put it right here. And yeah, so the first step you want to do is you actually want to get some dirt and kind of just mark out the general shape of the tree. Now, don't go into too much detail, kind of just get the right height and shape. Now, I kind of want it to split in the middle a bit, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually make the split a bit higher. And don't just make the tree like perfectly straight up like this. What you want to do is you want to kind of make it a bit zigzaggy and crooked, especially for the type of tree I'm going for. Even like tall spruce trees, which you kind of want that straight arrow shape, you can kind of just put it on this kind of angle so it almost looks like it's being blown over in the wind. So once you just get a shape you're kind of happy with, I'm just kind of experimenting a bit, you then kind of start going into a bit more detail, making it a bit more thick around the base. And yeah, I'm not going to do all that because I kind of want to just get straight into it, but that could work for you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding in some roots. Now, this is a detail I think a lot of people overlook, and roots kind of going into the ground a bit, even like with this body of water into the water a bit. Make sure they're not too thick. I've made it a bit too thick here. Make sure, oh, lag spike. So you just want to kind of start getting some roots in. Now, you can use some gradients if you really want to, but I honestly am not really a massive fan of gradients in custom trees. That's just my personal preference. I know a lot of people do like them, so don't feel obliged to just do exactly what I say. So now we've kind of got this base in, we want to start moving up into the trunk bit. So yeah, you've got kind of this very straight, we're going to fix that up later. But for now, we're just going to follow the pattern we came up with earlier. You can see we've kind of got this base in at the moment. So what we want to do is some trapdoors. Now, don't go too overboard. That is my #1 motto in this series, as you might as well know by now. But yeah, you don't want to go too overboard with the trapdoors. Just put like an amount that details it, but not like completely overruns the whole thing. So we've got a little bit of texture in here. Even some fences can just break it up a bit and maybe make it look a bit more realistic because it's a bit thinner in that area. And yeah, I'm gonna work on this bit a little bit. And yeah, don't be afraid to add some fences in on the branches because we're gonna be using a lot of fences for branches later on. So yeah. So now we've definitely got this base shape in, we need to start adding a bit more branches. Now, the kind of thing I kind of want the branches to come up a bit and then kind of come back down a bit. So it's got this curve going on. Now, you just, with the type of tree I'm going for, you definitely do want to just like make all the branches a bit wonky and coming out like this. And don't like have it completely like this. You want to have multiple sections coming off the same stem. like trees in real life. So you can kind of already see how that's taking shape. And with how I've got this, like the double area here, if you've got something like this, maybe make it 2 different heights. That could look pretty cool. So now we've got this kind of crooked base in. Now here's where the fun part comes in. We're adding more detail to these branches. So the first thing you can do, this is kind of optional, it's mainly just because I have the resources. Another thing is I generally wouldn't make it out of the entire 6-sided wood logs. I would generally try to get as much regular wood in as I could. It's just I'm in creative mode, I have access to these resources, so yeah, because this will take up a lot of resources if you're doing it entirely out of the 6-sided logs, so just keep that in mind. I'm not saying not to do it if you're in survival, like it definitely does look a lot better and is a lot easier. But yeah. Now, here's my favorite part of it. We want to kind of just build some more branches like in the kind of stuff we've done here, but with these fence gates. It'll just make a lot thinner looking branches and just help with the immersion of the leaves. So yeah, obviously, like I keep saying, it will be different for each tree. With this kind of crooked old swampy tree, you want it kind of zigzagged, but with more of an oak tree, you want it more round and you want it really in formation and looking really pretty and good. The purpose of this swamp tree is more just to cast an ominous shadow and kind of look a bit creepy, so yeah. I've got this kind of base shape in with all the fences. We can kind of start putting in some leaves. Now, it kind of is different for each kind of tree, but you can kind of choose whichever leaves you want. I'm going to go with some spruce leaves, just because it's kind of got that darker leaf color. So the first thing you kind of want to do is just wrap it around the branches. I'm going to go ahead and thicken this up a bit later. Alright, now we've kind of got the base layering of the leaves. This is where usually with a custom tree I'll thicken it up a bit, but since I kind of want this dead and old and decaying aesthetic, I'm not going to put too much in other than a bit of droopiness down here. And there we go. Now for the finishing touches. Now this does definitely depend on the kind of tree you're making, but trees are a great place to put spore blossoms because we've got those particle effects that's created, which definitely works around this area. So I'm just gonna put a few ones up in some places. But the main star of the show are these glow berries. So I'm gonna put some in front here. So these add a bit more droopiness, and yeah. Now they are a bit light for my liking, but they still do the job fine. If you need to, you can kind of just hide some more wood to put them down there. Now, if you don't want them growing past that point, you can use shears, but I always just use string. Well, in 1.18 you can use shears, but yeah, like I just always use string. You can do this with regular vines as well. And there we go. I think that's pretty much done. I might do a few more finishing touches here and there, but yeah, that's just the basics. So, forgot some string there. That's fine. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this little mini tutorial. I don't think the video will be that long because I'm just kind of recording it all in one hit. Because yeah, they don't take very much, as you could see from that. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed and learnt something new. And yeah, in the next one we probably will be covering waterfalls, and we're gonna push this up this way. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, you want to build some waterfalls, yeah, subscribe and make sure to ring the notification bell so you can see when that comes out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one if you choose to watch it. Bye.